Hello, hello, hello. Good day to you all. Good day to Negroes far and wide. I am Doug Rice. Welcome to the Doug Rice Show. I do appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your attention to the live. I do thank you, one and all, for showing up. I have given great consideration to the message I intend to convey today, and hopefully enough of you may hear what I have to say. A little background on me as you join me, as those who may show come into the live. First and foremost, all praises to the Most High. All praises to Yahuwah, God of all creation, in the name of Yeshua, King of the Negro nation. I do thank you. I thank you for all that you do in supporting this effort. It is a meager effort at best. I try to set myself apart from the rest, but never above, never below, right on even keel with the Doug Rice Show. And again, I do thank you for being here. As you can see, please, if you would, hit the thumbs up button, like, subscribe, share, all of the things you see to do down there as we do our best to clear the air in providing to Negroes a message they may need to know. I am Doug Rice, and again, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. The last live I did 2 weeks ago was a message to white people. Now, it was not a soft message delivered. It was as tactful as I could muster. But I was as frank and as brutal and as pointed as I could be in delivering the message that some of you did see. And I pray that you took the time to listen to my rhyme as I conveyed thought and expressed idea in the direction of white people who needed to hear. And they do need to hear. But now, today's live, as I hope you may hear, is a message for black people. So draw near. And when I talk about black people, let me kind of clear it up. When I talk about black folk and the message that I'm trying to convey to us, I am expressly talking to Negroes, those of us who consider ourselves Hebrews. From the tribe of Judah, primarily, I would say. I concern myself with those Negroes today. Those of us who associate ourselves with the transatlantic slave trade, those of us who claim and proclaim that sojourner across the Atlantic from the homeland, from Negro land, if I can pointedly say that, from areas that encompass Negro land, from West Africa, the Central Africa, all of the scattered abroad points and places in Africa where they gathered Negroes and sold us into slavery as punishment for our defiance and unfaithfulness to the God of all creation, the God that we worship here, this Negro nation, Yahuwah, the Tetragrammaton. All the information I've gotten points to that God as being our God, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, those fine ancestors that create our makeup. So when I talk about black people to black people today, those are the black people that I say all I say to. And the message is one that you've heard before. The message is one that you can't ignore. It's a message that needs to be relayed for sure. It is our message. There's a message to us as Negroes, as those set apart, those conscious of our position, a position that we gave up, a position that we usurped through our own mechanism, our own intent, our own decision to turn away from the Most High. As a collective group of individuals from far across the sea, the Atlantic, to Africa, that continent renamed so by Africanus, goes by other names, I'm sure you know. But we need this message delivered just so, because time is ticking, time is short. Time is cascading forward and toward that prophetic moment when things will change in an instant as we eventually come to the close of the Gentile nations. And are they not making a go of that close? Yes, they are. And so the message that I have today is multifaceted, as I intend to say all that needs to be said so that we Negroes don't wind up dead. This is a message for Black people. Now, if you are not a Black person, a Negro, a person, a part of this show, I still invite you to listen. I still invite you to lend an ear. I still invite you to come near, because you might, who knows, you might like what you hear. Who knows? I don't know, but we'll find out. So first and foremost, I'm pretty certain some of you have read the description that I put. I know that at first I eliminated or did not include a message for Black people, but it said a message for back people. I hope that's been corrected. Sometimes I type faster than I can think. But be that as it may, the message that I have for Black people today, and the first and foremost, as I've written in my notes, is one that we know most certainly, and that is we are the target. Yes, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Negroes far and wide, do not allow yourself to be lulled into a false sense of security in this place, because we are the target. It doesn't matter what you see these people do to one another. It doesn't matter whether they do whatever they want to their brother. Negroes, Black people, are the target. We are the ones they are after. In the long run, in the short term, the inevitable, we will all learn that we are who they are after. Set aside all their smiles and laughter. We've always been the target. They never wanted to let us free. They never will allow us to just be. They are always putting us in their sights, whether morning, noon, day, or nights. They are after our Black asses. And that includes all the masses. And I'm saying that with all seriousness and candor. We are the target. They are after us. Inevitably, the sights will set on every descendant of the transatlantic slave trade that they are able to get their hands on. And they are starting early. We are finding Negroes murdered in the streets of Houston, Texas these days. We're finding Negroes hung from trees and done away with, dispatched in so many ways. And there is a quickening of that chasing of Negroes. There's a relentlessness toward what they choose to use in disparaging, dispatching, and simply murdering us. We are the target. I think it's imperative that we all understand they are after us. They're not after straight-haired, black-haired, light-skinned Hispanics, Latinos, natives. They're not after those individuals. They are after us, Negroes. That is the first message. It is the prime message. It is one that we shall never forget, because the worst of them is to come yet. And that's the truth. Next message I have for Black people, for Negroes, for those of us who consider ourselves Hebrews, is that we are not the same. Now, when I say we are not the same, I want you to understand, I'm not just talking about Negroes as opposed to the rest of the nations, to the Edomites, the heathens, the Neanderthals crawling from beneath the Caucasus Mountains, chasing us relentlessly and forever into oblivion, to our own death and demise. No. I speak as well as those of us who cast our own eyes upon each other. We are not the same. When I talk about Black people and I talk about Negroes, there are some Black people that consider themselves foundational Black Americans. I am as sick of these individuals as I can be. because I think they're all blind and simply don't see what's developed in this country over the last few years. And it's not about terror, being scared, or our fears. This is about what they are doing. I don't believe what's coming out of their mouth. I only believe what I see. And let me tell you what they have in store for Negroes like you and me. They have no good intention. And for those FBAs that I mentioned, they seem to be bought into the illusion of inclusion. They seem to want it so bad, don't they? Well, let me tell you, folks, they can't have it. They won't have it. It won't be had by them because they are intent in this country to have it whites only. And they will pursue that. They'll pursue that concordance. They'll pursue it as an ordinance. They'll pursue it in every way that they can. Let me explain. Brother Yacoba, T.I. Ministries, I believe it may have been Teo, uh, posted that a woman recently came into contact with a sundowner town and barely escaped with her life. Almost shot dead by the sheriff of that sundowner town. And when I consider sundowner towns and consider the white perspective of that objective, I'm often puzzled as to what foundational Black Americans will do under those circumstances. I often wonder those that walk about talking about the land that they have bled over, their ancestors having given their lives to be an American citizen. I'm wondering what they'll do in the face of whites that don't want them to have any rights. I wonder what they'll do in the face of these sundowner towns that invite these Negroes, these FBA clowns, to go elsewhere with their blackness. Will they lecture these violent white nationalists about what all their ancestors have done to deserve to be included in the American dream, or will they come to their senses and understand that once the killing commences, they will not have a leg to stand on? There'll be no understanding coming from these creatures that chase us with pale features. No. The message for Black people, particularly those foundational Black Americans that might be listening to this particular live, is that you will end up running for your very lives from the foundation of the Black America you envision, because you are the only ones seeing it, and it'll come to your derision. We are not the same. Some of us understand the landscape that they have laid in front of us to not include us. And the message is simple: prepare yourself for Exodus, prepare yourself for what comes next. It's very plain and simple what Scripture has pointed out, that we would be taken and held captive in a land we have never known. And by all accounts and rights, it's shown that this place is that place. And so the message of us not being the same is that Blacks too are included in that unsameness. Some of us are delusional in our thinking. Some of us damn near seem like we've been drinking. Some of us want so badly to be linking our heritage to theirs and theirs to ours. But the time will come when the veil will be lifted, the scales will be falling from the eyes of Black people who call themselves foundational Black Americans. We are not the same. There is no foundation built that they will not tear asunder. There is nothing that we have put into this place that they won't simply tear down. And Donald Trump is doing his utmost to make that a reality. Donald Trump is doing everything he can to remove the inclusion and the collective contributions of Black people in this country as he possibly can. And he's starting at the very foundation. He's starting with the institutions, the Smithsonians, the museums. He's moving toward the Department of Education to eliminate what he calls, wokeness. And I'm wondering what those of us who consider ourselves foundational Black Americans, those lost souls, I wonder what they're going to do in the face of the conclusion of this mess. I just wonder. I must confess. That's a message that I have for Black people. Another message, one that may break the hypnotic trance of those who want to be included and take their stance. That message is that we are Holy Royal Negroes. I'm going to say that again. The message I have for Black people that are descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, that claim that as a part of their personage. We are Holy Royal Negroes. We are Hebrews. Most importantly, the message I have for Negroes who can identify with that message is that they, who are not Negroes, who are not Black, who are not descendants of the slave trade, who are of the nations, they know it. They know who we are. They've always known who we are. They know that we descend from Judah, that we are the original Hebrews, the true Israel. Israelawe, I believe, as Brother Yakoba has has coined it, and I believe his assertion is well founded. That message should ring clear every day that you wake up here, that we are the true Israel, not those Ashkenazi imposters, the Polish European Edomites that this day are making the assertion through murder and genocide their play as being true Hebrews. They seem to be losing. They seem to be losing the footing of being called true Israel. We, Negroes, here, the descendants of slaves, transatlantic victims of the enslavement put upon us, not just by these Europeans, but by these European Jews who sold us into slavery and then usurped our position, calling themselves us. It's an important message for Negroes who may not yet get the message, but I hear words getting out. Of that I have no doubt. I understand that as more and more look and peer deeply into the historic facts that face us, they are coming to terms with the fact that perhaps some vital information has been withheld regarding our history and where we come from. Perhaps they're getting to the point that they might accept the fact that we are, in fact, true Israel, true Hebrews, true Jews, if you will. The message for Black people, and I have yet more still. Let's talk about what's going on these days. I mean, let's talk about it. What's going on? A few things are happening. The government's closed. Government's been closed for what? 22 days, something like that. I don't know. Government is closed. Donald Trump is firing government employees, 4,000 so far. What else? Food stamps, no more. As of the 1st, you'll have to eat what you have in store. Isn't that something? Everything being done to protect pedophiles in this country. All of the secrets, the filthy, dirty secrets of white men being held back by a thread. We got Prince Andrew losing his princeness. Isn't that a mess? But I regress. And as more and more occurs and the trouble continues to come and stirs, we see they can't seem to hold together the center. And in all of that, Donald Trump seems to be making quite an effort to rewrite the maps of congressional voting, rights that Negroes claim they have to vote, and they're systematically redistricting areas of this country in order to give a kind of a heads up, an advantage to the Republicans that now support an obvious child rapist in the Oval Office. I mean, what's going on here? Suddenly, we've got war in Venezuela. We've got Colombia telling the United States to go take a flying hike. We've got defiance of white hegemony or hegemony. That's hegemony is the word. They are telling these European hillbillies who occupy America to go fuck themselves. That is what they are doing. The world is turning its back on America as the American president makes enemies who were once friends, who tries to make friends of those who were once enemies. And he's isolating the United States into its own eventual demise. And it's all happening right before our Negro eyes. And you can't avoid it. These tariffs that are taking a toll on the farmers of this country, they're not being rescued. They're not being bailed out. He's giving $40 billion to other countries. Isn't that something? We got a president of the United States that wants to cut off health care to millions of Americans while he gives himself $230 million for being put on trial for obvious crimes that he was convicted of but did no time. A convicted felon in the White House wanting to collect reparations for his own inconvenience. And they may pay this man. What's going on? It seems that just after 2020, it all seemed to come off the rails. We had a bunch of hillbillies try to invade the Capitol, trying to hang the vice president, doing everything they can to make themselves supremacist, neo-Nazi nationalists are all a part of the ICE campaign. Those are the folks, the brown shirts we see patrolling the streets of America. And which streets is Donald Trump aiming for? Black streets. He's beginning to make it known, his disdain for black people in this country. I've got a message for black people. What's going on? They can't seem to hold the center. They can't seem to get it together. All the while, making every effort to affect negatively the lives of people in this country more closely associated with black people than any other group on the planet. They want to take everything they can from us without making it look like they're taking anything from us. As he attacks black women, as he eviscerates everything that black people have stood for, standing for the country that seems to sit for them. I got a message for black people. Time is short. We don't have much longer to be here. And for those of you that are thinking about making camp here and digging in and getting ready to fight your way through the melee of white violence that's fast approaching, I wish you well. I truly do. I hope you have a story to tell when it's all through. The message is very simple. The time is short and the door is closing. The door to making your decision is closing. You see, some of us can't simply leave. I'm one of those people. I just can't simply pick up and leave. I don't know that I would. I hear a lot of people who have gone to Africa considering the mistake they may have made. Some of them coming back, some of them being sent back, some of them being kicked out of the African countries that they took such pleasure in going to without doing due diligence and perhaps, I don't know, a little bit of investigation as to the culture shock they may suffer. I, for one, am forced to rely on the Most High to deliver us from this evil. That second Exodus promise to us, I'll have to wait for God Almighty to show me which way to go. Go left, go right. Well, I don't know, but I'll go when it's time to go and I'm packed. What do you think about that? Time is short. The door is closing. I think it's time for Negroes to stay out of the way. This is not our concern. Let me say that again while we watch it all burn. You see what's going on. They're coming unglued. There's not a damn thing seems any of them can do. But this is not our problem. And this is the one message I have, which is prescient. It's very, very now. As you look and see it all burn down somehow, remember, this is not our Negro problem. All of what's going on doesn't concern us, and yet all that's going on concerns us directly. You can understand that dichotomy. It's interesting, isn't it? As we watch it all fall apart, try not to take any ownership or take it all to heart. It has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with us. One of the reasons we were set so far back of the bus. But now, the bus is broken down. All passengers can simply come off the bus. Let the bus burn. Don't make your bed in a house of fire, because I can tell you God will not be proven a liar. This place is going down, but don't own any of it. Be no part of this world. The world and its desire are passing away. Not too much more that I can say regarding that. Just when you see them all trying to hide and scat, just remember, this has nothing to do with us. They've made certain that we have as little input into the events that we see culminating as they can possibly make. They have removed black faces from echelons of power as they recess and digress into their final hour. Negroes need to understand this is not our land, and just be prepared to be elsewhere. And just take a step back from it and look at it objectively. They've made determination there's no Negro connectivity. It's the truth. This is not our concern. And let me say this so that we all might learn, because I'm a little bit fed up with this whole inclusivity thing. Let me say this so that it is heard and might ring. Natives, Latinos, and Hispanics that are not Negroes, I'll say that one more time. Latinos, Hispanics, and natives that are not Negroes have absolutely nothing to do with the Negro experience. This is not all inclusivity. Negroes are Hebrews. I assert, I believe that Hebrews are Negroes only. I do not believe that only Negroes will be saved. I do not believe that Gentiles will not be saved. I know that there may be those few that are in connection with their senses and understand that they can no longer put on pretenses. They know that we are Negroes, we are Hebrews, we are chosen. And the ability for them to be saved is not frozen. I don't accept that without definitive proof. Don't want to seem as though I'm aloof. But Hispanics and Latinos and natives that are not Negroes are not a part of the Negro experience. They do not join with us in our trials. They were not there on the plantations picking cotton. They are not being castrated, lynched, hung. They are not being murdered. There are no sundowner towns that exclusively simply deal with those three. No. I do not see Latinos, Hispanics, and natives of other nations brought to this land in chains on ships. I've not heard of that unless my mind slips. And I want that to be understood. Yes, I do have a message for Negroes, a message for Black people today. I didn't say it would be popular. I didn't say it would all just go your way. I just said I had the message. That's what I have to say. Be Negro-centric. Be Negro-centered. We are alone in this. I'll say that again. Maybe you don't understand. There's no one coming to help us from other nations. Those other nations are, well, they're complicit in Deuteronomy. They are complicit in Psalms 83. Come, let us cause them to forget themselves as a nation. Let us do that. They weren't talking to Hispanics, Latinos, and natives. No. Hispanics, Latinos, and natives have the memory of their ascendancy. They know where they come from. They've not been made to forget anything. That's the reason I'm very Negroes only about so much. I've hit on pretty much every topic. White supremacy within Christianity is a presence that we need to pay particular attention to. That's something that most Negroes are starting to do. They're beginning to understand that the white Christian nationalism that's taking this country by storm is not the predicated thing. It's no longer the norm. It is now ascending into more direct communication. And they have no inclusivity of the Negro nation. They want a whites only country, a white Christian nationalist country. That's what they want. Negroes are not included. Please don't allow that smile to, to take you off your mental square. There's absolutely no friendliness in there. They smile to simply show you their teeth, and they hide deeply what's hidden beneath. Not all Negroes will be saved, and not because of anything other than the choice. Stay here and die here, right alongside the heathen. I'll repeat that. Stay here and die here, right alongside them. This place is slated for punishment. This place is slated for judgment, and judged it will be. And if you stick around amongst these heathens, then you shall surely see. They've done enough. They've done enough to deserve the destruction that awaits them. This place isn't set for preservation. There'll be no second golden age for these hillbillies. The world is making plans on what comes next after America is sorely vexed. This isn't an if or a maybe. This isn't a summation. This is fact. I've told several, and I'll tell you, that all the all the holdings that America has, all the land, all the wealth, all of these things that make up the United States of America, none of it was gathered through honest dealing. None of this was set upon by a noble cause, by noble men with noble intentions. Not now, not then. They got this country, they created this place through murder, rape, theft, and disgrace, slavery and genocide. That is how this place came about. And of that fact, I have no doubt. And they have set upon themselves the collection of the debt that they have to pay, and they've not paid it yet. One brother I used to listen to on the regular, he said it best. They took the bag. They did. They took the bag. When your forefathers handed down to you those thousands of acres from your grandfather's grandfather's grandfather, you took it. And with it, you took a debt. You took a debt. And that debt has to be paid in blood. The same blood that you spilled to obtain the wealth, the same blood you'll spill in losing it. And it won't be based on any noble cause or how you end up using it. The debt is there and it will remain. And you'll pay that debt. That's just the truth. A message for Black people. The end of America's democracy is upon us. We are headlong barreling into fascism, into dictatorship, all with the sole purpose of getting their hands on Negroes. Donald Trump doesn't just want to hide the fact that he's a pedophile and child rapist. Donald Trump doesn't just want to hide the fact that there are rich white males involved in the raping of children. Donald Trump isn't just after being not held responsible and accountable for his vile actions and proclivities. He also wants to get his hands on us and put us on our knees. He cannot stand Black people. More pointedly, he doesn't like Black women much. And there is a mechanism to his method. Something within him drives him toward us, and he doesn't have good intent. His intent is ill. And if he can get his hands on us, he will. These are just the facts. And if you don't see what's coming, you'll end up, instead of staying, running. And that's the truth. We're not talking about the flea doctrine. We're talking about the flea fact. They've already started chasing us. They're making sinister plans for Negroes in this country. That Project 2025, which I did a show on, is being kept alive, and he's ticking every box. And it won't be long before the rest of the world is going to tell America to kick rocks. I kid you not. He is step by step turning America into the pariah of the world, being led by his protection of the Jews who control it. And it seems the tide seems to be turning on those individuals as well. Countries are attacking Israel. Do tell. We're watching it happen, Negroes. We live in these prophetic times as a privilege given to us by the Most High. Can you imagine to live to see the days that were spoken of centuries, eons ago, in so many ways, about that future generation that would live through this? And it's something that we Negroes simply can't miss. So prepare your go bag, prepare your go bags, be ready for the Exodus. And at every turn that you get, for any of them that listen, any of those that are not of our ilk, those we call white folks. Tell them their future every chance you get. Tell them if they dare to listen. I take every opportunity to tell every white person, every Edomite, every heathen, every Neanderthal, every European I can what I know about them. Because they never intended us to know anything about our history, much less theirs. They wanted to spoon feed us a history so they could put on airs. And airs they have put on, and that's the only thing that's holding them up. Soon they'll fall hard. And it's, I think, our duty to inform. I have no problem letting them know. I have no problem whatsoever. I've told more than a few the truth, and I've hit as hard as I possibly can. So be ready to leave loved ones behind. Be ready to leave loved ones behind. They love it here. I need you to understand there are Negroes that seem to be able to look beyond the whiteness that's gripping this country by the throat, the white supremacy that they now express by rote. It is a mechanism within the Negro mind to find the most atrocious of white people kind. And it's my opinion that while we're in this dominion, we do everything we can to separate ourselves from them. Be ready to leave your loved ones right here. Now, I don't mean to do that without shedding a tear, but some of these Negroes are going to make their determination that they should be here and die with this nation. And I say, let them. If they wish to stay, then see how it goes, and hopefully it'll go their way. I have doubts that it will. I have doubts that it could. Because I know that these beings around us are no good. And finally, as I try to bring this to a close, I tell you, one and all, Negroes, pray without ceasing. Pray every moment of every day you awaken. Pray until the very fiber of your soul starts shaking. Pray for forgiveness. Pray for guidance, but pray for preservation. Pray that you survive to make up the Negro nation. The God of heaven is who we serve. That's just the truth. And we are ambassadors to that kingdom. Negroes are the ambassadors to the kingdom of heaven. Kings, priests, and ambassadors. We represent the kingdom of heaven on earth. They have put us sidelined and away from all that might incline us to give our contribution to the direction of this place. But it's good that they've kept Negroes out of their face. It is. Because we have no tie-ins here. Those of us that are woke, we have nothing that attaches us to this place. We should be able to leave this place behind. We should be able to turn our backs as we turn the page and close their book of white rage. It's a message for Black people. It's the one I have today. And I hope that you've all heard what I say. This is coming to an end. We all see it. We all know it. The moves that they're making expressly show it. And they're ready, aren't they? They're ready to kind of sit for a while. And all we need to do is remove that smile. I thank each and every one of you for showing up today. I appreciate the time you've taken to hear what I say. The message for Black people is simple and plain. Do not avoid the future and don't end up staying. Well, folks, that's it for me. I am Doug Rice. This has been the Doug Rice Show. I appreciate you being here, just so you know. I try my best to put my best in each live, and I'll do so as a way of trying to survive. Please like, subscribe, and share this effort. And again, if you have the proclivity towards supporting me, please do so by the edifices you see. Cash App, of course, is the easiest by far. The rest, I don't know. I don't know if they're still active. But I do appreciate your time. As you can hear, I'm about to lose my voice. I don't want to do that, so I stop this by choice. Like, subscribe, and share this live. And take this message to other Black people so that they might survive. You folks have a wonderful day. I hope you had a good Shabbat. Remember to listen to TI Ministries because they say a lot. Take care.
Thank you.